Starting tonight with a clearer picture of the damage after a lightning-sparked fire tore through a historic mining town in Tuolumne County. Live Copter 3 flying above the area of Red Hills Road and Highway 120 and Chinese Camp. We know several homes here are destroyed.
Then Live Copter 3 spotted this in the burn scar. Take a close look. A firefighting dozer on its side. CAL FIRE confirms the dozer overturned during the firefight. One person had minor injuries. Crews are now working to get it turned over and operational.
The fire not burning at the same intensity as yesterday. CAL FIRE says the fire has rapidly grown with no containment. That smoke filling the air and impacting the air quality. And we saw smoke and flames from Live Copter 3 in Calaveras County. CAL FIRE saying there's no containment yet on this fire. It's still active right now, burning through dry grass and vegetation. And we spotted this. Firefighters hard at work trying to build those lines today. They say the fire is pushing northeast, and that is threatening structures. Live Copter 3 showed us the burn scar around 6 Mile Road where CAL FIRE believes lightning started this fire. Evacuations are still in place for both of these fires tonight, and they're both part of what firefighters are calling the TCU September Lightning Complex. Both of those fires were started by lightning during yesterday's storm. So let's take a look at the latest map from CAL FIRE showing the burn scar and the evacuations around it. The 6-5 fire, as it's called, burning on the north side of the Don Pedro Reservoir. You can see it has burned through much of the community of Chinese Camp. And to the south, it goes down to the lake. Highway 120 runs along the right of the fire and Old Don Pedro Road to the left. At last update, CAL FIRE says this is at more than 6,900 acres. At this point, we do not know how many homes have burned. If we move up to the north a bit to Calaveras County, we could see what is called the 2-7 fire. It's burning south of Murphy's and north and east of Vallecito. This one has burned nearly 600 acres. Evacuation warnings and orders are now in place, and a shelter is open for people and pets at Bret Harte High School in Angels Camp. We have live team coverage tonight with our weather team tracking the conditions and our crews on the ground at both of these fires tonight. We want to start in Chinese Camp with KCRA 3's Anahita Jafari. So, Anahita, you've been covering the devastation. What are you seeing right now?
Andrea, it's really heartbreaking out here. We're on Main Street in Chinese Camp, and earlier we were showing you a look at some of the houses and some of their cars in their driveways destroyed. Now we want to show you a piece of the history here, completely demolished. Right behind me, you can see the outline of what once was Oddfellows Hall. Right there behind me, it served as a community meeting place and social hub for miners and their families. And a lot of these buildings like this one date back to the 1800s. One of the first buildings you see driving into Chinese Camp, a post office, also destroyed. Lots of that damage was on the inside as well. Two pieces of history did survive: the old schoolhouse and the Catholic church, as well as a cemetery with graves dating back to the gold rush. So there's a lot of structures out here. You're seeing another one right now that we're panning to. This one is made of bricks. We're not sure which building this is. It is hard to tell what exactly we're seeing out here just because there is so much damage and just this shell of what once was types of structures. We spoke with a woman who lives one street over on Washington, and she decided not to evacuate. And she says that this was a fire that moved so fast, it overwhelmed the town and any resources that could get there. Take a look at what she had to say.
Devastation, something that right now, even looking at it and walking, you can't believe it just yet. It's going to be a few days before we really feel the full effects of where our town is.
Oh my goodness, when I saw it yesterday, I literally started crying. I've been unfortunately gone for 3 years, but it still has all the meaning to me. I mean, my family's buried there at the cemetery, and that was the first that I had seen.
That second woman you saw speak, her name's Leah, and she used to live here. She says her family lived here, and she lived here for so many years. She says that this place means so much to her, and seeing it like that really brought her to tears. Her late husband and his family are buried here at the cemetery, and there's a plot here for her as well. Live in Chinese Camp, I'm Anahita Jafari, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, a lot of people eager to know, Anahita, when they might be able to come back. I know people who stayed there cannot leave and come back. So is there any idea when people who did decide to leave can come back?
That's such an important question. We've been hearing a lot of people on social media as well asking the big, when can we come back to where our homes once were? And the answer, unfortunately, is there is no timeline. We did ask CAL FIRE a little bit about whether or not people could come relatively sooner than later, but unfortunately they said that it's all about when it's safe to enter the area again. I mean, as we've been walking around here, we've been seeing downed power lines, trees blocking the roadways, and of course roadblocks while crews try and work and navigate all of that. So really making sure that it's safe out here. We've seen PG&E come around and making sure that there are no live wires. And so again, one of those women that we spoke with, she told us that she lives here. She chose not to evacuate. Her son was here as well, and he went out to get them some different resources like water. And unfortunately, he was not allowed to come back into the area. So she says a lot of the people who did decide to stay, which is not very many, but they don't have any power and they don't have any water. And so once you leave, you cannot unfortunately come back in. And again, there's really no timeline on when that might be fixed.
All right, Anahia, thank you. We want to go live to the north to Maricela de la Cruz in Calaveras County, and you spoke with homeowners today.
Yeah, well, despite the evacuation orders and warnings, a lot of people that we spoke with today, they decided to stay out here. That's despite telling me that yesterday was a scary evening, seeing those flames, all that smoke out here. But it was really the decision to stay out here because they wanted to protect their properties. An active day as fire crews monitor hotspots as the TCU September Lightning Complex burns in Calaveras and Tuolumne counties. Despite evacuation orders and warnings, many residents like Stephen Kotz decided to stay and protect their homes.
We had sprinklers going at the house. We had all the critters loaded up and all of our valuables loaded up and ready to go, and just turned on all the water we could and pulled everything away from the house that, chairs and stuff that might be flammable.
For Stephen, the mission of saving his livelihood was twice the pressure as flames impacted hundreds of acres of their property, which includes Ironstone Vineyards. Fortunately, the flames were stopped feet away from one of their buildings.
I mean, it would have burned the winery up. Or if it had jumped the bottom and run up through the vineyards, there was no stopping it till it got to Murphy's.
Like him, other people decided to stay and spray down their homes, and in miraculous instances, a lone cabin standing amid a burned scar. As fire crews continue to mop up areas where the fire has already settled, they say lightning strikes had them moving from one fire to the next.
What we have is called a lightning plan that we follow, and the way it's worked on is the numbering system. So the first number is usually the battalion that fire started in, and to determine the factor of equipment is it just goes by in order.
And at this time, there's still no word on any structural damages. What we do know so far is from one resident who out here told us that he was able to save his cabin, but a shed and a truck were lost in the fire yesterday. But again, CAL FIRE has not revealed any of that information just yet because they do want it to be safe enough for crews to start coming into the area. But for now, we're live in Calaveras County. Maricela de la Cruz, KCRA 3 News.
Thank you very much.
And now we want to get to meteorologist Heather Waldman, who has been tracking the conditions. So Heather, what are firefighters dealing with tonight as they continue to fight this?
Well, as far as the weather goes, it's a lot more favorable for them. There's less wind, which is good news. It means the fire's behavior is more predictable. It also means it's a lot more subdued compared to what we saw yesterday. But lighter winds, it does mean air quality issues for the areas immediately around the fire. So let's take a quick tour here. We're going to start in Tuolumne County, where we saw Anahita a few minutes ago. A lot of smoke and haze hanging close to the ground, but we're not seeing an obvious plume of smoke like we did yesterday. So some good news there. The air a little bit clearer here in Calaveras County, where we just saw Maricela. So better news here, where, just the afternoon lifting has brought some of that smoke a little bit higher up. Actually, the biggest culprit for most of the smoke pollution we're seeing in the foothills right now is the Garnet Fire in eastern Fresno County. This is what the fire looked like on one of its flanks about 30 minutes ago. I took this screenshot, and you can see there are some smoke columns that are coming up, and we did see quite a bit of smoke going up with thunderstorms nearby in the area. So let's check in on air quality. If you're in the valley, if you're out towards the Bay Area, the Delta, you may be seeing some of the haze, but your air quality is just fine. Where we are seeing the issues, at least right now, is pretty much limited to the areas right around the fires. So we're zooming in here on western Tuolumne County. This is Groveland here, where you see these red and even purple dots. That's where there's enough smoke pollution to create air quality conditions that are hazardous, whether you have a respiratory condition or not. So these are areas where you want to keep the windows closed tonight. You want to make sure that you're staying inside as much as you can. What's going to help improve things is a breeze. Don't have much of that this evening. Overnight tonight, a little bit of a northwesterly shift in the wind. So as long as the fire in Calaveras County stays somewhat subdued, things may get a little bit better into tomorrow. But again, that also hinges on what goes on in Fresno County with the Garnet fire. So we're going to update you day to day on the air quality conditions there. Back to you.
Heather, thank you. And we could give you a live look right here from Live Copter 3. This is the Chinese camp area. So you're getting a sense of that haze and that smoke that is in the air from this particular fire. You can download the KCRA 3 app to keep track of the fires. We have information on evacuations, where the evacuees could go, and how these fires are impacting the air quality close to you. It's all in the KCRA 3 app and KCRA.com.